Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today, I am back with my dear friend Satoshi Sean. Yesterday was my 52nd birthday. So I stayed home. Well, actually, did I stay home? I feel like we went somewhere. Oh, we went and checked on his mom's house that we're trying to clean out and sell, but nothing exciting. But my husband did buy me flowers, and my daughter brought lunch over to me, which was so sweet. And my kiddos text me and said happy birthday, and my mom gave me a call, so that was super sweet. And a lot of you guys reached out and sent me messages, so I really appreciate that. Thanks for all the sweet birthday wishes and messages. That means a lot to me. And yeah, I'm going to jump in and talk to one of my dearest friends and catch up with him. And we'll be right back with some truth right after this. How are you, Sean? Good to see you.
I'm good. How are you, Lisa?
I'm a little older. Good to see you.
We're all a little older every day.
We all get a little older every day.
I used to have this thing that I programmed that is when I would wake up, the computer would tell me good morning, and then it would play Time by Pink
Like
Floyd.
a song name time?
Yeah, by Pink Floyd. It's like, we're all dying, and every day you're dying. And I was like, why do I have this for my morning song?
Terrible.
And then some other song got me pumped. And then The Call, Let the Day Begin by The Call. That's a good one. So those three songs. But the Time was, that's the first song. It's kind of depressing. But then that makes you not want to go to sleep, because I'm like, if I sleep, I'm just wasting more time.
You're just dying.
Yeah,
Sleeping away your life.
Yes. So then I would wake up.
That sounds depressing.
A little bit.
A little bit. Hey, I just was watching your video before I jumped on. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I want to go back and watch the whole thing. So I have a couple questions for you. I saw you called out XRP, and I only got just a blip of the headline. But I saw they are supporting Kamala and made a big donation. And I also saw that she stopped campaigning. So I don't have all the information. I've got lots of questions. But was it XRP or did Ripple make a donation? Because it's my understanding XRP is a token. So the token holders make a donation to her, or did Ripple, the company, make a donation to her campaign? Like, did Garlinghouse do it?
There's no difference.
There is a difference. There's a significant difference.
No, not technically. I've made the point many times that you kill babies.
No,
I kill babies.
No, I do not.
And we have to, you have to admit you do it, because your government does it. You got to take responsibility, because people's like, that's one of the bad things.
I voted for a war bond, and I had active participant.
I have an argument there.
Voted for that. Then yes, and you helped me understand that. So I do appreciate that education.
We have to take responsibility, because our government, and it's gotten to the point because the war bonds thing, because our parents.
Because of the fact that they create an omnibus bill and can fund anything without our permission, we have no say in what gets funded.
The fact that
I do not take responsibility for those actions.
The fact that they took us off the gold standard, that they formed the Federal Reserve, that they did all that, not our fault, but they can fund whatever they want.
Right.
But we still allow it. People don't get voted out. And I don't know, though, the system is messed up, because but it's geared to where we can blame Californians, and we can blame where my people I vote for are blah, 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 but they're all warmongers. And I think I'm so to the point now, which I want to talk to you about
BlackRock.
I want to talk to you about this, because I wanted your mom to, because you guys have some, not insight into this, but you were like, for the first round of it, a similar thing with the chickens. So, they found now that everyone's been talked about chemtrails for years and years,
Right.
and they found that there's like heavy metals like aluminum and other things that they're putting in the atmosphere, and like why? And they've admitted, oh, it's for weather research and blah 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 blah, and it doesn't make sense. And I've always said, like, whenever stuff's going on, like, this doesn't make sense. This seems counterproductive to the goal they want or to what they want to do. But then, like, years later, everything kind of makes sense. So Monsanto came out with a patent like years or months ago for aluminum resistant seeds, and they own the patent on this. So now literally any farmer has to use their seeds. But it took years of research and development and testing in order to get this approved. Why would they do all that and put all that into it if they didn't know that this problem was coming? This literally was just announced, that seeds can't grow in the soil now because of the aluminum deposits. So now they come in like, hey, we developed this.
Right.
How lucky. So it's like your family with your mom wrote the books with the Tyson and how they screwed farmers and all that. It's basically the same thing, but I'm kind of getting on board with Rhodes on this, that I think we got to start killing people. I mean, they got to die, because banks, corporations, whoever you want it, polluters, anything, it's all about money. And they can, how the electric industry, the energy industry, chemical plants, whatever, they can poison towns and give like 800 people cancer. And those people have to fight in court for like 15 years.
Yep. And they can hide their proof for 75 years. Well, by then, most that generation has died.
Even if a best case scenario, Aaron Brockovich kind of stuff, it still takes 10, 15 years. Most of them are dead. Okay. Right. But then their families, then they have to pay out, oh my God, they paid out $2 billion. But over 15 years, they made $80 billion, $20 billion. It didn't hurt. But dude, that's a serious thing. If you poisoned and killed 800 people or 400 people, you shouldn't just have to pay money. You should die. Seriously. So I think and I don't like saying
someone. I mean,
they need. I don't like the word new law, but I think that they should make some kind of crime.
So do you know that today is the anniversary of Nuremberg trials?
No, I didn't.
And ironically,
I don't like talking about it.
Today is also it passed in the New York Supreme Court that they are making them give everyone their job back. Yeah. Oh yeah, New York State. The New York State Supreme Court made them reinstate everyone and give them like back pay. Anybody that they fired for not taking the jab, because they found it to be ineffective and not prevent COVID in the New York State Supreme Court.
That's shocking that it's New York.
And for this to be happen to be the anniversary date of Nuremberg. Also, you were talking about these things and that it's all about the money. Here are videos showing this first video, which we won't listen to all of it, but the first one is BlackRock confirming they pay for and control the president. The second one is Tucker Carlson exposing Kamala, saying that that she's owned by BlackRock. The third one is Kamala picked BlackRock executive as her top economic advisor.
They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it. All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. I work for a company called BlackRock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's
and who's that?
The hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys want the main financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates. And obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators. And these guys are rich. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. I can give you 500K right now. No question asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
10 grand.
Does
you can buy
like
a senator.
everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
There's so many.
They're
And
right.
then there's the next
Lower
one.
the cost of everyday needs like healthcare and housing and groceries.
We're going to end America's housing shortage. You just let in over 10 million people illegally, and you put them all on housing vouchers and food stamps and gave them free plane tickets and free cell phones, and all of them have to live somewhere. You caused America's housing shortage. If you care about the cost of housing, limit the population. Certainly don't expand it through uncontrolled immigration, through open borders, which is exactly what they did. She's responsible for it. And her donors at BlackRock are buying up the houses in your neighborhood. And her donors at Airbnb are turning your neighborhood into a
Did you know Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's vice president, she partnered up with BlackRock, the company that's acquiring almost all the assets, one of the biggest firms in the world with almost $10 trillion in assets under management. They're getting private information from the Biden administration. I bet you didn't know this. The prospectors learned that Michael Pyle, currently a global chief investment strategist at the leading asset management firm BlackRock, will become part of the Biden-Harris administration in the coming days. Pyle, an Obama administration veteran who has also worked on economic policy with Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, will become the chief economist, the vice president-elect, Kamala Harris, according to sources familiar with the transition. Pyle will be the third former BlackRock official to join the administration.
So, like, they're already hand in hand working together.
Well, it's like that's why she's got so much money. It's because the billionaire class, and Carlson was talking to Musk, and Musk said that the reason she gained so much money from these billionaires is because they're on that list from Epstein. They don't want it to come out, and Trump won't put it out. They're literally paying to keep it closed. So yeah,
this is the other big one that came out today. This a whistleblower came out, $347 million contract for transporting unaccompanied minors. They are literally spending federal dollars, U.S. dollars, our tax dollars. Well, not really, because it's omnibus money, I guess. But it's U.S. dollars. It's our government is spending money transporting unaccompanied minors, trafficking children. This is all the sand.
Yeah, and they've lost like what, 100,000 or 300,000 kids?
300,000. Over 330,000 children are missing.
And there's people, but there's like, YouTubers and real, like alternative journalists that are like going to airports and they're going up to people. Where are you taking these kids? Where are you taking these kids here? Hey, kid. And the kids are scared shitless of this. He's like, I'm not the bad guy. Talk to me. This person you're with is about to take you somewhere. Where are they taking you?
Yeah, James O'Keefe has a documentary about it. You can go to O'Keefe Media Group and read the documentary. It's called like Line in the Sand or something like this. But they talk about how much money and over $250 million, and then 330,000 missing children that have been trafficked.
We say that like, oh, that's bad, but that's
worse than bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I can't process that. I just know, like, my brain just says, oh, it's bad.
No.
But the level of bad is
evil.
It's and you can't explain it.
Beyond evil.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't explain. Like, you could say there's some kids that run off or whatever, but it would be hundreds or thousands. Like they came here to be here. They didn't. It's not like they're.
Well, or did they? Was it even? Were they under their own will, or was it against their will? We don't know. I mean, some of the pictures in the video of this, because I saw some of the video on Facebook, and the kids are clearly like drugged, which that goes hand in hand with all that Diddy stuff. When you see some of that, and you're hearing some of those stories, I mean, it's something also for everyone to pay attention to.
You brought up Diddy, so I think it's very weird. Like the guy who had guns at the Trump rally. They're like, it was a third attempt and blah blah blah. It was just, it was a guy who was VIP. He told the, he went to the police and said, yeah, I got guns in my car, but they're in the trunk, they're closed. It was all made up, but it was reported like crazy. And then you have the police go into Diddy's house. The FBI finds a false door or a hidden door. And the family's like, please don't go in there, please don't go in there, please don't go in there. They bust in and they find these tunnels that go down deep. And there's locked doors they can't break into downstairs, 3 of them. But then they start traveling through these tunnels that went to the Playboy Mansion, that connected to several people's houses in the area, like big names.
Mm-hmm.
And then that, it was like, at the time, like one time it was talked about and then it was shut up. No one talks about it. It's like the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
It's all coming out now. There was also recorded. So I guess Garth Brooks' makeup artist he was sexually harassing her, and she was scared of him, and he would like ask her to touch her breast and all this, and then he would like take care of himself. Disgusting. And she finally, like, he wouldn't stop doing it, and then he was threatening her, and she finally like wrote something. So then she was doing all these recordings, and I guess in Tennessee it's not illegal for a one-way recording or something, and so now she's releasing these. And she said and now there's this lawsuit with the recordings. And she said, I'm scared of you. Please stop. And he's like, no, I don't want to ever let this go. Like, these people are drunk with power and money, and they are so sick that they think that they can just treat other humans like this.
Yes.
I
agree. You know, I've been thinking about this week, and I didn't want to have this conversation with you, but I will. I understand that. And also, Garth Brooks probably told her that he has friends in low places. But number one, once you got one recording, that's it. You quit, you sue, you get rich, you're done. You know, there's nothing they could say. But like when the Epstein thing came out, started to, I didn't understand what the big deal was, because stuff was like, I would give him a massage and he'd be like, hey, give me a hand here, do this, do that. He's a billionaire. And I mean, when you look at the world, literally, if you have that much money and power,
because Sean, they were doing much more than that.
Yeah, that's later. But like a lot of the like creepy stuff, if you're rich and you're weird, I could say, hey, I'll give you money if you do this weird shit. And forcing it, you know, it's
they
like
were doing harmful things to children and then getting rid of the bodies.
Yeah, see, that's not what I'm talking about.
Well,
but I'm talking about being like a creep and offering money to do creep stuff. You know, that's like super rich, weird guy behavior. Illegal stuff's illegal stuff.
I was gonna say 2 consensual adults might be weird, but that's on 2 consensual adults.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're like, hey man, I want you to put peanut butter all over yourself and dance, but I'll give you 50 grand. That's just, he's a weirdo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, no, and then bugging them about it. Then, you know, that's hostile work environment. There's things you sue, you're, you know, leaving sue. But when it first came out, it was like massage therapists were like, he would ask me to do stuff to him.
Yeah, but they were also like 14.
No, I think they were like actual massage people. That's I think what started.
No, when it first came out, he was recruiting them from high school, or there were girls recruiting other girls from high school, from local high schools.
They weren't licensed massage therapists.
No.
Okay, I thought they were licensed massage therapists. They went to school,
and
they were like, you know, he would call the yellow pages or whatever and get someone to come over and then be a creep. And I was like, yeah, sounds like a billionaire.
No, it's just crazy.
Whoa, 48,000 miles of tunnels. Oh,
that's insane.
Yeah. See these numbers. Like I said, 300,000 people. That's like a small. That's a medium-sized country. I am a resident of Palau, and there's only like 7,000 people in the country. It's so many countries are very small. Which one of them we're going to talk about on my channel? But it's just that's it's like the money. You can't wrap your head around that many, and there's no reason. And that's the point I think that needs to be made. There's too it's the number's too high for it to not be on purpose. You know.
Well, we're ending the old system. Like it has to.
Well, like the
go
Cuban
into infinity.
Cuban syndrome with military. Like the government has said, Cuba did some kind of attack using sound on the soldiers in Guantanamo and down there because there's like hundreds of people that are complaining and have the same syndrome. So mathematically, now we use math. Mathematically, that means it's not an anomaly. It's not a one-off. This is proof because of this number that it was on purpose and was an attack. 300 freaking thousand.
So
that's proof that it's on purpose.
Do you remember when that ship that our friend helped build was parked off Turkey right before they had the earthquakes?
Mm-hmm.
And we asked him about it, and he couldn't talk to us about it. And then here recently, Trump was doing a rally. Well, maybe it was a town hall. I don't know if it's town. Now he's doing these town hall things in a rally. And then people started dropping in the room, and he stopped everything and he started playing music. And he had him open a door.
I do.
And he stopped.
It was in Carolina.
I think so.
And he paused for 40 seconds.
There was a pause, and then he's just started playing music, and he just finished it with just music. So I think it's about frequency, and maybe, we're still the war is still going on, the fight is still going on, and I don't know if they had I don't know if it was some MK Ultra stuff where people have some words triggered.
It's weird you bring this up.
Or if it was a do attack or a remember the people having or that's what you were talking about, the people having the injuries.
Yeah, they were stationed in Cuba. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was that or if it was word trigger from like MK Ultra training where he knew he shouldn't be speaking because there were people planted in the audience that had MK Ultra damage.
I'll tell you what he said. Because it's weird that you bring this up. Last night I was watching Patrick Bet-David on because he interviewed and that's something Trump's gone on. Theo Vaughn, for God's sake, he went on Theo Vaughn. He went on Flagrant podcast, unbelievable. And then he went on Valuetainment the other day. So Patrick Bet-David
Trump's gonna go on Joe Rogan.
Rogan, yeah. So he's like killing Kamala in real stuff. The whole Elon thing, everything. Anyway, so Patrick Bet-David's like, this is when I really liked you. This is my most favorite thing here is when I saw this, because he's like, I'm a business owner and you got to be cutthroat. You can't show emotion and you can't ever be sensitive. He goes, and you're the same as me. You understand that's how you have to be in business and blah blah. But like with your kids, you can't be that way. You've got to be, you've got to have that softer side. He goes, and this was a moment, and then he shows that clip, which I never saw the clip. He's like, you stopped, and then I could tell that there was real feeling there, And then he was like, well, I use music at the end, at the end of my rallies, and I talk over the music, and he goes, I'm not emotional, And he was kind of like, I'm not a sissy, but he's like, it wasn't emotion. Honestly, I get very angry when I talk about how messed up the country is. It's anger, and I got to stop and then think, But he talked about that, and he goes, you were silent for like 42 seconds. He's like, yeah, sometimes it's like 20 seconds. I gotta stop, but it was odd. I never saw it, and you could tell he was like he was he was emotional when he stopped, because he's like, our country is doing so bad, and they've missed this, and they've done this stuff, and the music is playing, and he's like not saying anything, so you could tell there was something going on there. But there's a comment
there. Yeah, I don't know what it was either.
the comment in the chat about the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
Yeah, so I know Texas was already negotiating with BRICS.
Yeah, I don't see. I think it's part of the reason why we're supposed to hate Russia so much. You gotta hate Russia. You gotta hate Russia.
We don't need to, because if the U.S. corporation, if the debt goes with the U.S. corporation, then that's fine. And then during the Great Infection, so many states were backing their state treasury with gold and silver. If we have the national divorce kind of situation, the debt goes with the Fed and the corporation, and all the states become like commonwealths or whatever, and then they can each negotiate with or get together or whatever, or have like mega Texas, like Greg talks about, and then they can negotiate with BRICS with the new
one of the reasons why,
because SWIFT is
because Russia's huge. Russia has way more assets than we do. Russia has way more wealth than we do.
Well, not really, though.
Oh, absolutely, 1,000. No, not 1,000. I'll tell you the truth. It is, I think, 11 times more. But we're
Texas. Remember when we were talking about numbers before?
Yeah, we're like number 2 in the world for our oil, gas, and that's all that. But Russia is the 300,000. You can't wrap your head around it.
About how much more? Okay, I see what you're saying. Exponentially.
When I first got my YouTube channel, it was a project that I did. It was the first security token, one of the first security tokens to ever come out. And they were going to mine gold. And they're a former Soviet Union, they were like a Baltic state. So they had access to all these Soviet records.
You know what, though?
What?
When silver is revalued, and remember when DJT Day, oil hit 0 and Mexico has to pay us, and Trump said, don't worry, they'll pay us back later in another way. Mexico is going to pay us back in silver, and then we will have so much silver. And when silver revalues,
let me tell you about real
bucks or whatever
happening, and
they'll all even out.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see.
No,
but what's happened is, so anyway, this company is going to start mining for gold and silver, right? And they have records, these past Soviet documents, and it's insane the amount of wealth that's was in Russia, the Soviet Union. So they would do a survey on this land, right? And they would say, oh, we've got like 50% gold that we can get out of this, like 52% silver. We're not going to mine. Screw that. Then we got a place over here, 82% gold, 82% silver. Yeah, let's put a mine there. If it wasn't like so rich in gold and silver, they wouldn't even get out of bed, right? So this company got all these records of all these places that are like, by like regular standards, ridiculously rich in like gold and silver, but it wasn't high enough for them to actually put in the money. They were like, no, it's not 80%. It's not good enough. It was insane. So but the BRICS comment, we're taught that Russia's bad, Russia's evil. Same with Iran. And when Trump put the yarmulke on over there, he told Netanyahu, you got to go after Iran, you got to bomb Iran. He said, you got to do it sooner than later. You got to hit their nuclear stuff. Bugs me, because it's the one thing I loved about him, is that he did not start any new shit. Did not start one war. There was nothing. And he said that. I don't like that. But do you know the countries where America has the highest approval rating? I think number 2 is Iran with its people.
So he was just, when was he saying this? When he was president, he was
No, the
telling,
other week when
you're saying just recently on
when
the
he put,
10/7 thing?
the yarmulke on. The
I
other
didn't
week,
know
and
he
all
told them that.
the pictures came out with him wearing the yarmulke was with Ben Shapiro. He told them that.
I didn't know he told them that.
But I think
But if that was just to tell them to take out the nukes, then maybe that was a good
they don't
thing.
have nukes, but it's escalating the war, and it's pushing. If they do anything, it's going to push us into it. But I think with the USA being part of the BRICS nations, that's one of the reasons I think why the powers that be, call them whatever you want, are so against that, because it would make, if our people got together, uh, it would make us so incredibly, as a human race, we would be able to accomplish so much. You know, I
I
remember
think that's what the
when I,
USMCA is.
when I was a kid, and there was Iron Curtain, and like heavy metal was banned in the Soviet Union, but there was like underground bands, and like you could send. I remember in the back of like heavy metal magazines, people would post like personal ads. You could send like mixtapes to Russians and stuff, and they could send you stuff back. It was cool. It's like a I guess
Like a pen pal.
like a community, yeah. But you
Yes.
had this like community that was like an underground community. But then when the wall fell, immediately it was like, oh man, now we're gonna be best friends, because there's no more Soviet Union, there's no more government. Like the people like if Iran, if the government fell, like the people will have America. You know what I mean? Like we could hang out.
Yeah.
And that's how the idea was when it first happened. But then slowly but surely, now everyone in government says that they are our enemy. But they say China is our enemy. Let's trade billions of dollars with them. But we can't trade billions of dollars with the Russians, because if we turned off our trade with China, they're done.
Say that again. If we turned off our trade with China, what?
Yeah, they're done. They're finished. They're collapsed.
Oh, because they have no one to buy their.
Yeah, and they know that.
Yeah,
and Trump gave that away because he said he puts sanctions and stuff on Iran.
Yeah, the tariffs.
And China was gonna buy oil, and he said, okay, if you buy anything from them, you will have no trade with the United States at all, none. Which means we wouldn't have medication, we wouldn't have it. So, but he was like, that's it. In China, they totally capitulated, and they did what he said because they know it would kill them. Because if we say no trade, then Britain and all NATO countries, they're going to have to follow suit, because it's like the one thing that would be in our favor. But I think that's why we're not taught about Russia in school. We're not taught history of the United States and the roles that they took and how they saved so many things. How they threatened to go to war with any country that recognized the Confederate States as a country. That's like huge. And we're never taught that. How they refused England to help against the colonists in the colonial war. We're never taught that. That Catherine the Great said no. In fact, we'll give humanitarian aid to them for the war. I mean, it was like those are huge things that we're just not told about. Because I think that I don't know if we can become part of BRICS Nation or BRICS, because it would be. I think we need to, because I personally think that when BRICS goes in and hits, it will break the dollar, which will break the United States. I mean, look at what happened with our inflation already, and that's nothing compared to what could happen when BRICS comes out. The dollar.
Well, and if it's based on gold and silver, commodities, then it creates the free market. So it does free the people it gets rid of the middleman. So it does free people from the corruption of the middleman, of the federal bank, of anybody like the manipulation of the markets. Oh, there was something else I wanted to show you because you're always showing me the Simpson stuff. There's a Simpson episode.
Damn it. Forgot to say that. Lisa, it's your birthday.
Lisa, it's
Happy
your
birthday.
birthday. I know you always sing it for me on my birthday.
Yeah.
Who did I send it to? Or somebody sent it to me.
What percentage? Gerald said something about it, but computer, what percentage of the United States land does the government own?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
know.
I'm not allowed to tell you that.
You won't tell me that, but yeah, I can find it myself. I think it's like 80% or something. Is all the land in the United States is owned by the government.
What do you mean the bank is out of money? Insolvent? You only have enough cash for the next 3 customers?
I talked about this on the show.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I
Notice,
said,
notice the sign.
it's in Bill's house. I think we're talking about bricks. So we're talking about how
what the hell you doing? My money in your house, Fred.
It's a Wonderful Life, you know.
Bank of America.
But I said if 10% of people, and I was like, no, you know what? If 5% of people, 5% just went to the bank around the world and said, hey, give me my money, the entire world bank would fall. Every country, they used to have to keep 10%, but if 10% went, they don't have any money. 5% went, they wouldn't have any money. But they lifted that. So now it will only take 5% of people going to the bank and say, give me the money. They're done.
I will tell you that my friend who was on the board for creating the new thing, she's involved with our bank, and my bank had the ITMs with the coins and all that stuff. I think I saw her on the tarmac with Trump the other day. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but she also posted that she got an invite to the White House the other day.
Cool.
So I think things could be happening very quickly. There's also other things happening here locally that I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about or not. So
actually, Oklahoma's got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
Something interesting, Andrew Tate, you could hate him or love him, but he said something that was undeniable and it was very eye-opening, because when you keep things simple and it's like everybody gets it, that's what pisses off the propaganda machine, because it's hard to spin stuff when the counterpoint is so obvious. He said they want you to get rid of cash. Don't do it. He goes, if I have a $50 bill and I go to my barber, I get my hair cut and I give him that $50 bill, he has $50. And if I went and if he goes and he spends that, buy groceries for his family, he buys $50 worth of groceries, and that store made $50. And if that store buys more inventory, they spend that, they get $50 worth of inventory. He said, if I pay my barber $50 with a debit card, they take 3% out of that. And then if he goes and buys groceries, they take 3% out of that $50 again. And if the grocery store orders it through the banking system, they take another 3% out. Eventually, that $50 it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why they want to take away your cash. So it's devalued already. It's devaluing and dying. But then you can understand that they're literally chipping away. That's without taxes. That's without anything else. Just those little banking fees before the government's involved.
Right.
They're taking it away.
I wanted to do one more announcement before we jump over to your channel. If you guys haven't ordered your Veritasium commemorative rounds. They are, Reggie posted them. They are really beautiful, and tamper-proof labels have arrived, and he thinks they will look good on the physical product when they arrive. And so they'll cover a smart contract secret until registered on change, optionally unlocking additional value, an asset on chain, which can be other hard assets, knowledge, info, services, etc. So kind of cool. So go check those out. Follow at Reggie Middleton on Twitter and get more information there. So,
all right, everybody, make sure you like the video.
Like this video, and then jump over and follow us on Satoshi Sean's YouTube channel. There's a link in the description, but please do give us a like before you go.
Yep, come on over.
We'll
Got one person waiting. All right.
All right. See you guys.
See you.
Where's my little video?